Imagine receiving your paycheck on a Friday afternoon. The relief lasts only a few hours before the math begins in your head. Rent, groceries, unexpected bills. Every month feels like running on a treadmill that keeps speeding up. Most of us are conditioned to believe there is only one cure for this exhaustion: earning more money. We assume that if the top line number on our paycheck grows, the anxiety will disappear. But this visualization shows why income is only one side of the equation. Think of your salary as water pouring into a bucket. Down at the bottom are tiny, almost invisible holes. A subscription here, a delivery fee there, a random online purchase. Modern financial culture celebrates the size of the bucket. But if you double the water flowing in without patching the cracks, the leaks simply expand to match your new lifestyle, and you are left exactly as empty as before. True financial stress for ordinary earners is rarely about the exact amount you make. Is a behavioral consumption problem disguised as an income problem? Look at post-war Japan. Millions of families were starting from less than zero. The landscape was devastated, resources virtually non-existent, and salaries incredibly modest. In this environment of rationing, waste was actively dangerous. Every single yen mattered. This strict reality forced ordinary people to develop an extremely protective psychological relationship with their resources. Yet out of this severe deprivation emerged one of the strongest saving cultures in the modern world. They did not do this by waiting for an economic boom or suddenly securing massive salaries. They adopted a practical system built entirely for the working class. Building stability begins long before your paycheck increases. It starts the moment you invert how you think about your money. The modern sequence of money is a trap. We are taught to receive our pay, spend on what we need and want, and attempt to save whatever happens to be left over. Usually, nothing remains. The traditional Japanese system demands a strict reversal. You move a predetermined amount into savings the moment you are paid, and your spending is strictly limited to the remainder. Consider a bamboo forest. Long before a single thin stalk breaks the surface, the plant spends its energy building a massive, aggressive root system underground. Securing even $10 before touching the rest of your paycheck functions the same way. It builds an invisible foundation of financial discipline. People often look at their modest wages and say they simply do not earn enough to save. But waiting for a windfall is precisely what keeps the habit from taking root. The purpose of moving a tiny fraction of your money is not to become wealthy overnight. The purpose is to adopt the identity of a saver. Once your identity shifts, every transaction that follows behaves differently. Today, the working-class budget faces a quiet, persistent threat: convenience. One-click shopping, buy now, pay later plans, and instant food delivery. When you remove effort from consumption, the act of spending becomes invisible. Your brain stops registering the exchange, blinding you to how much water is actually leaving the bucket. In 1904, a journalist named Hani Motoko introduced a tool called the Kakeibo, or the Book of Questions. Its entire design revolves around injecting intentional friction back into daily life. A modern transaction moves instantly from desire to purchase. The Kakeibo redirects that impulse into a deliberate friction checkpoint. Here you force a pause and ask, do I actually need this, or am I trying to alter a feeling of stress? You can see this protective friction in physical habits too. Choosing to cook a meal at home instead of paying for delivery is a deliberate choice to value your own effort over unconscious convenience. By putting friction between the urge and the transaction, you sever the link between emotional distress and mindless consumption. That space gives you control over your income. Standard financial advice often fails low-income earners by forcing them to look too far ahead. We are told to obsess over massive milestones like full retirement accounts or buying a home. Staring at a goal that requires hundreds of thousands of dollars causes immediate paralysis. It makes saving $10 today feel entirely pointless. Think of walking through a deep forest at midnight. You hold a small lantern. It does not show you your final destination, and it leaves the vast distance completely in shadow. It only lights the next 2 steps. Financial progress requires the same exact focus. You stop worrying about the decades ahead and put your attention strictly on tracking your expenses this month, cooking your next meal, or putting aside this week's savings.
You do not need perfect economic knowledge or a flawless high-income career plan. You only need the discipline to step into the light right in front of you. Modern lifestyle inflation is exhausting because the target never stops moving. As soon as you acquire one thing, society demands you chase the next upgrade.
The Japanese philosophy of contentment offers a way out of this trap, beautifully captured by the image of a simple teacup. A cup does not derive its value from overflowing and spilling onto the table. It is valuable precisely because it holds exactly what is needed for the moment. This leads to the most dangerous question you can ask a consumer culture: what is enough? The moment you answer that question honestly for yourself, the comparison games stop. Advertising and peer pressure completely lose their psychological grip. Peace of mind is not generated by the size of your paycheck. It is built entirely by your relationship with the money you already hold. There is an old proverb that a mountain is formed by accumulating tiny particles of dust. Financial stability works the same way. It is the invisible accumulation of single rice grains, one unnecessary purchase avoided, one extra hour worked, one smarter decision.
The Kakeibo was never a tool meant to make ordinary people millionaires overnight. It is a framework designed to make you stable, intentional, and quiet the noise of external control. True financial freedom does not require waiting for a promotion or a sudden change in fortune. It begins today with a single decision and the quiet dignity of stewarding exactly what is in your hands.